Hello and welcome to American Literature. I'm just going to do a brief overview of our course and go over the syllabus with you. That way you know everything that you need to know to just be successful this semester. Um, so we're going to start by just clicking on our class. And when you enter our classroom, it should take you to assignments and lessons. I'm going to go ahead and put it in student mode so that you will be seeing the same thing that I am seeing. So over here on the left, you can see there's a link for your syllabus. There's a link for all of the assignments and lessons and everything that we'll be doing this semester. This next little button is for learning materials. This is your textbook. And any textbook that you have in any class that's one of those included textbooks will be in this, not just the book for our class. Then you'll be able to click on to see your grades. These are Dallas College resources, and then just help and tools. So we're going to start with the syllabus. So I'm going to go ahead and download the syllabus for our class. It's going to open it up for me. And this is the syllabus for our class. There's a lot of really great information here, so make sure that you read through the entire syllabus, and then that way if you have any questions, you can let me know. So this is American Lit 2. This is a spring 2022 class. It's going to be offered all online. Hopefully you've already taken 1301 and 1302, but they probably wouldn't have let you register for this class if you hadn't. So what we're going to be doing in this class is just going through American literature, starting at the Civil War up until the present time. So you're going to read some prose, you're going to read some poetry, you're going to read some short stories, and you will be reading a novel for this class. Okay, we're going to scroll down here to required course materials. So the book that we will be using for this class is the Norton Anthology of American Literature, and it includes volumes C, D, and E, and I'm going to actually click on that link in just a minute so I can show you what it looks like. When you registered for this class, it should have included the online version of the textbook unless you clicked that button to opt out. If you did, you'll need to either get a copy of this textbook or find the readings that we're doing someplace else. Okay. Also here on our syllabus is the breakdown of how your grades will work in this class. So you can see we have a couple of different grading columns or grading categories. The first one up here is assignments and reading journals. This is things like your syllabus quiz, that sort of stuff, as well as your reading journals. Every time that you have an assigned reading, you'll complete a reading journal. These are super easy, just like a sentence or two on what the reading was about, and then a sentence or two on how you felt about it. What was your reaction? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Did you agree with the poet? Did you think it was terribly written? Did you think it was beautifully written? Any of those things work for your reaction. The next category here is your discussion boards. Because this is an online class, we will really be using these discussion boards a lot to discuss what we are reading and big ideas that are brought up in the things that we are reading. And then you have 3 essay projects. So you're going to write a cultural identity essay. We're going to read a really great essay written by one of my favorite authors, Zora Neale Hurston, and she writes an essay called How It Feels to Be Colored Me. And so you are going to write an essay about what you feel about your cultural identity. You're going to write a novel review essay. This will be over a novel that you select from a list of approved novels. Now, for this novel review essay, you're going to select the novel the very first week of class, but the review is not due until Unit 7. So just make sure that you don't wait until the very last minute to read this novel. I want you to have an opportunity to really take your time with it. And then the last unit in this class is actually a literary criticism essay for that. So for that last unit, you won't have any reading assignments, reading journals, or discussion boards. You will just be working on that essay. And then down here, I have just a brief description of all of the major assignment categories or essay projects that we will be doing. Okay, so let's take just a moment and talk about attendance in an online class. So for an online class, you are expected to log into the course several times per week. Please make sure that you're completing all of your assignments, that you're interacting with your peers on your discussion boards, that you're doing the readings, that you're listening to the lecture videos, that you're exploring the extra resources that I have available for you. This lets me know that you are present in the class. If something happens where you're not able to participate in the class, you get sick, you have an emergency arrives, something like that, please just send me an email or let me know so that we can figure out some sort of alternative plan until you are able to participate again. Um, Late work policy. So late work will be accepted at a 30% penalty. So that means it's only worth 70% of whatever grade you receive on that. So that's if it's one day late, that's if it's at the last day of the course. So please make sure you do try to get your work in on time. Now, if an emergency arises and something happens, please let me know. We'll figure something out. If you know, like ahead of time, hey, I'm going to be really busy this week with work or something like that, you can get almost all of your assignments turned in early. The last project or assignment that we have in this class is the literary criticism essay, and that is due on the very last day of class, so that essay project cannot be turned in late, and then any other late work is due on the very last day of the class. Okay, let's talk for just a moment about the academic honesty policy. So you're going to read and write some great things this semester. Most importantly, I want you to know, though, I am interested in hearing from you, your words, your thoughts, your ideas. Um, don't share somebody else's ideas and take credit for them. If you turn in work that is not yours or has material in it that is not properly cited, that is plagiarism. Also, part of Dallas College's academic honesty policy is that the work that you submit for this class must be written for this class. So you cannot, turn in the same essay in, this class that you turned in for another literature class. If you're caught plagiarizing, you receive a 0 on that assignment. And if it happens again, you will fail the course. Please just don't do it. If there's something that you're struggling with, if there's an assignment that you need help with, I am more than willing to help. We can set up a virtual meeting. I'll be updating my office hours soon. You can make an appointment with me there. You can come see me during my office hours. You have resources available to you. So please don't make the decision to plagiarize on an assignment. Everything that you turned in is going to be run through just Safe Assign, which is a plagiarism checker. So just please make good choices. Okay, and then the very last thing that you have in the syllabus is the course schedule. So what you will see is that for each unit, you'll have several readings and then several assignments that are due. Most weeks or most units, so depending on whether it's an 8-week class or a 16-week class, you might have 2 weeks for one unit or you might have 1 week for one unit. But each unit, you have some readings, and sometimes they're short, sometimes they're a little bit longer, but you can kind of see the page numbers here and get an estimate of how long they are. These first two things are just like 1-page poems. So I try to keep the readings at an appropriate level so that you can also be reading your novel as you're working through the class. So you'll have readings and then you'll have assignments, most weeks discussion boards and reading journals. We have that cultural identity essay due in Unit 3. And then the last 2 units of the class, Unit 7 and 8, this is where your other 2 essay projects are due. So you'll be doing a novel review in Unit 7 and a literary criticism essay in Unit 8. Okay, let's go back to our class and kind of poke around the Blackboard shell for just a minute so you know where everything is. So if we go home, no, just kidding. It should bring us to assignments and lessons. And so I will update these dates in your classroom so that you will be able to see when everything is due. Before you start on any units, I'm going to ask that you start right here in the Start Here folder, which is aptly named. It has a little welcome message from me. I'm going to ask that you send me some contact information because this is an online class. If something happens and I need to call you or text you, it doesn't usually happen, but every so often there's a semester where something where that happens. So you'll just fill in your contact information here, a phone number where I can reach you, and then please indicate if you prefer call or text. I'm a millennial, so I like to text people, but if you prefer a phone call, I'm happy to do that too. In addition to that, if there's any information that can help me as your instructor, please let me know that. And then the other thing that you're going to be doing in the Start Here section is picking your novel. There's 16 novels on this list. So go through this list and see if any of these stick out to you. Any of them that maybe you were already thinking about reading or you've heard about and you want to see if it's as great as people are talking about. So do some research. If you have a question or you want a specific recommendation, send me an email and I will be happy to do that. But you're just going to click novel selection right here and you're just going to say, I picked The Joy Luck Club by Amy Tan, or I picked Kindred by Octavia Butler, or whatever novel you want to choose. Because this is an online class, y'all can all read the same novel. You can all read different novels. It doesn't really matter. You do not have to purchase a novel. All of these books are available at local libraries, and almost all of them are available at Dallas College libraries. So check it out from the library. That way you don't have to buy a book if you don't want to. So that's what's in the Start Here folder. And then in every unit, they all look pretty much the same. Excuse me. When you click on the folder, you'll get a unit checklist that tells you what you're going to be reading. It has your reading journal. Every unit, you'll have a lecture video. This is me, my voice, explaining what we're reading and just kind of going over some American literature stuff. And then I also put other resources here. So like this is a great video by the School of Life on the history of Romanticism. This is just an introduction to American literature. This is a video about Zakala Saul, one of our authors for this week. And so you can just explore those other resources as you see fit. I think they're all great. Some of it might depend on how much extra time you have. And then you have a discussion board. So you'll be able to see the assignments, all of that fun stuff. Almost all of the readings that we're doing come from our textbook, and so that's what these page numbers are right here. If it's not from the textbook, then I have provided you a link, so you'll just click on that and you can read it that way. So the units are up. Not all of the lecture videos are up yet, but they will be before the start date of each of the units. And so you'll be able to sort of work through the units at your own pace a little bit, but you'll still be, responding in real time on the discussion board. Okay, so the other thing that I wanted to show you, let's see if it'll let me do it in student mode, is your textbook for this course. Okay, so it's not going to let me do it because I'm in student mode. Let me exit and see if it'll let me do it now. Okay, So this one right here, the Norton Anthology of American Literature, this is the textbook that we are using for this course. Like I said, if you have other textbooks that you're using in your other classes, they'll pop up. It doesn't matter which class you're in. When you hit learning materials, all of your books will pop up now. Okay, so this is our textbook, the Norton Anthology of American Literature from 1865 to the present. This is a great book. It has a lot of really good pieces of literature in here, but it is kind of wonky because it's broken up into volume A, volume C, volume D, and volume E. So when you come over here to the table of contents, takes a minute. Um, it'll pop up, and usually, so it starts at the beginning. So when you hit this contents right here, so you can kind of see what's in the book, this is just for volume C. Sorry, you have to scroll way down here to get to volume D. So what I would recommend you do is once you open this for the first time, is scrolling through. So now I'm at the contents for volume D, and then you can scroll down all the way along, way again, and get to the contents for volume E. And then you can kind of see like where you're going, what it is, and you can click on the different authors. So in your reading assignments, I told you which volume the page numbers are from so that you know kind of how far you have to scroll on that table of contents to find it. But pretty much they go in order. So whatever page you're on for your last reading, you'll just go however many more pages. Okay, so let's go back. So hopefully this answers any questions that you have about getting started in this course. If you have any other questions, I'm here, I'm available. Please just reach out to me. And I really look forward to learning alongside you this semester.